Hey, hey, hey. You're listening to the Alaska Real Estate Podcast, your outpost for all things real estate. I'm Chris Story, your host for great adventures in real estate. How's about we start with a poem? No. This is a good one. I bargained with life for a penny, and life would pay no more. However, I begged that evening when I counted my scanty store. For life is a just employer, he gives you what you ask. But once you've set the wages, why, you must bear the task. I worked for a menial's hire, only to learn dismayed that any wage I had asked of life, life would have willingly paid. Oh, think back to that last conversation with a client over commission rate. Did you slash your fee? Did you settle with life for a penny? Or did you make a case for your value and bargain for what you wanted, knowing that you're worth it? Yeah, boy. You go, girl. On today's program, Linda Gould from Washington, D.C. Now, Linda's our NAR tax lobbyist here to explain the real estate tax in the new health care bill. Who will it impact? Find out. And Shannon King, the road warrior. She's here to get your sales on the road again. Plus, an Alaska USA mortgage brief. Remember, if it happens to real estate, it matters to you. Alaska Housing Finance Corporation is proud to sponsor this edition of Alaska Real Estate Podcast. AHFC is owned by the citizens of Alaska, providing access to safe, quality, affordable housing through home loans, home energy, and rental assistance programs, and buyer education. Visit them online at ahfc.us or call 1-800-478-2432. Here now from San Diego, California, is the author of 101 Technology Tools for Your Business on the Go. She's a sold-out speaker to thousands across the country, co-owner and broker of Schoolhouse Realty, and the star of House Hunters. Welcome, please, Shannon King, the Road Warrior.
King of the road.
How much of your business right now is the showing and the production of real estate sales versus your authoring books and seminars?
Oh, I mean, 100%. I, teach and stuff because I'm passionate about it, probably more out of a necessity because my husband's military. So I'm about to make the move, my third move. So I had an office in Austin and Dallas. And when I got married to him, I closed my Dallas office, opened one in San Diego, and now I'm about to move to D.C. So my startup, of getting the new office up and running in D.C. will take me about 18 months. So during that time, I'll focus more on the speaking. But end of the day, I sell real estate. I'm, feet on the ground doing what you guys are doing daily. And
I mean, clearly, you're speaking for the most part about technology and using technology to advance your business.
Technology came in out of necessity. I was running offices in 2 cities in Texas and then making the transfer to San Diego. And for the first 18 months, I was still selling in Austin and starting a company here. So to be in 2 places at once, I had to utilize technology. But really, social media played a big part in starting my company as well. I kind of call it like the new age of marketing. The first thing that came into play was traditional marketing tools with a twist. So think of a farm. I think gone are the days of putting postcards and just listed flyers and here's your market update on the doors of everybody, which I think is still important information. Well, let's take that to the new level and create a website for that neighborhood and create a community up around that neighborhood. So at Halloween time, have all of the neighbors post pictures of all their kids. You should be at the neighborhood park handing out flyers with information, little packages of candy with a flyer with information that leads them back to your website, like iloveneighborhood.com, and, have all the events going on there and talk about the community happenings and highlight the local coffee shops and then have a little link that has a little bit about real estate, but make all your marketing pieces focus back on that neighborhood. It's no longer about you. It's about what your clients love, and that creates momentum. So I think taking old school marketing and adding technology to it is what really makes a big difference. And then another thing that we did, my company in Austin, fantastic company, really good business model, but the name is Tribella Realty, and that doesn't really mean anything to clients. And when we moved to California, really took a step back and looked at who am I and how can we relate to our clients and what's important to me. And I'm an educator first. I was a school teacher, as you know, teaching real estate agents around the country. It's my passion. And so how do we relate that to real estate? And we came up with Schoolhouse Realty. Former school teachers, we give 10% of our proceeds back to the schools of our clients' choices. What that does is it allows our clients to identify with us. Our ideal target market are people with kids. And And so we're passionate about schools and education. They're passionate about their kids. They want to use us. And it's a really natural brand. We don't have our picture all over ourselves. If you go to our website, in fact, you'll see stock images of kids all over our website. But it just really helps relate to our clients. So it's just a little bit different. It's not about us anymore. It's about creating the community that your clients can relate to. Today's communication age, information age, if you look at what's going on with Facebook, it's really about the community. So if you can create something that your clients are going to gravitate towards, they're going to love it. One of my good friends from high school started Tom's Shoes, T-O-M-S Shoes.
Oh, I've heard of those. He gives away a pair of shoes for everyone he sells or something to that effect?
Exactly. And so he took a traditional business model, and that's kind of what we did here with real estate, but he took the shoe industry, for example, and made it exciting and made people have a reason to buy his shoes. I mean, go look at his shoes. I'll be honest, they're not the cutest things ever. You feel good about buying the shoes, right? So same thing, and I think that's, where, smart real estate agents should take it.
Remember, Shannon will be here in Alaska for the 2011 AAR convention in Homer by the Sea.
Going places that I've never been, seeing things that I may never see again. I can't wait to get on the road again.
Let's check the mortgage hotline. Here's Rhonda Johnson with Alaska USA.
Just wanted to call and remind you of some of the really great loan programs that we still have available. We have the zero down RD loan programs for low-income borrowers who can actually get into their home with no down payment. We also have VA loans with a zero down payment option. Also wanted to remind you that we have a lot of Alaska housing loan programs, but for first-time home buyers, we have reductions in interest rates for energy improvements. We have low-income interest rate reductions, along with our FHA loan programs that will allow a borrower in with a 3.5% down payment. Along with those, we still have our Alaska Native loan program. We can get you in with a HUD 184 or just a 2.25% down for any qualified Alaska Native or American Indian. And we also have down payment assistance grants available for our Alaska Natives and American Indians. So just wanted to make sure that you knew that we still had all these programs available. They're all fully funded, and there's lots of money to lend. Thanks.
Alaska USA Mortgage, a name you know and people you trust. AlaskaUSAMortgage.com. Welcome, please, Linda Gould, NAR's tax lobbyist in Washington, D.C. How long have you been with National Association of Realtors?
22 years.
No kidding. Wow. And what is it you do for the National Association?
I'm their tax lobbyist. And so all of the various provisions that affect real estate and proposals that affect real estate, I put together the whole thing with the homebuyer tax credit. I have killed any number of proposals to, limit the mortgage interest deduction and that sort of thing. And so that's what I do.
Thank you.
Yes.
There is some tax in the health care bill, and I know that you're aware of it.
Yes.
What are the details of that real estate tax? Is it a transfer tax? Is it a sales tax? And when does it take effect?
Yes, this provision is one of the most controversial things and also one of the most misunderstood things that's come down the road in several years. The health care legislation imposed a tax on what is called unearned income, or another phrase for it is investment income. I like to think of it as the money that you earn on your money. So the tax applies, the types of income that are counted within the tax are interest, dividends, capital gains, and net rents, and I emphasize net because it's rents after depreciation, after interest expense, after all the repair expenses, and so it's not a big, giant, scary number. Now, those types of income are included in the tax base for this tax. The way it works is that the individual computes all the elements that go into their adjusted gross income. And, of course, for all of us, our adjusted gross income includes interest and dividends, and if we're lucky enough to have capital gains. And if we own rental property, some portion of our rental property income. You figure out your adjusted gross income. If you are a single person and you file a single return, then this tax will never apply if your adjusted gross income is less than $200,000. Similarly, if you are a married couple filing a joint return. This tax will never apply unless your adjusted gross income is more than $250,000. So already you can see that it's a fairly narrow application. Now, you asked the really important question of, is it a transfer tax? I know there's been a great deal of information on the Internet suggesting that the tax is a transfer tax on the sale of a home or of a commercial property. It is not a transfer tax. If I could jump up and down to emphasize it, I would. It is not a transfer tax. A transfer tax, as it's traditionally applied, is, let's say, for example, that I sell my home to you. The sales price is $250, and you buy it for $250. Let's say $300. Easier with all these numbers. I sell you my home for $300,000. A transfer tax would apply to all $300,000, and it would apply at the time of the sale as part of the settlement. This tax does not work that way at all. This tax is computed in a completely different kind of way. The first $200,000 or $250,000 of any individual's adjusted gross income will never be subject to this tax. It goes into effect on January 1st, 2013. And so this will affect no transactions before that.
Now, where else do you get what you need to know and when you need to know it? That's right, only on Alaska Real Estate Podcast. Am I right? Am I right? Of course I'm right. Alaska USA Title knows that you have a choice when recommending who to handle your transactions. For my own recent refinance, I chose Alaska USA Title, and I'm pleased to report my total satisfaction with the process and the professional way my file was handled. Let Alaska USA earn your business online at alaskausatitle.com. Well, that's our program. Thanks for joining me. Next time on AK Podcast, Chandra Hall explains her rad philosophy on life. Like for sure. Plus, we'll bring you more tech knowledge with Nobu Hata, geek extraordinaire. All that and more right here on Alaska Real Estate Podcast. I'm Chris Story, wishing you health, wealth, and happiness.